You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes. You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
Welcome to Papamutes, everybody. Happy 2024. My guest today is Claudio Reilsono. Claudio is the coach of Carnegie Mellon University's baseball team, where in 2011 was voted into their Baseball Hall of Fame and was awarded the Willie Stargell MVP Lifetime Achievement Award. Claudio is also a professional baseball scout, TV, radio, and podcast host. An author. We'll be talking about his book, Lead from the Heart Up, Not the Neck Up: How to Create a Positive Winning Culture on the Field and in the Office. He's in a lot of Hall of Fames over his illustrious career. Steel City Sports Hall of Fame, National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame, Pittsburgh chapter, and recently the Pittsburgh Sports Line Hall of Fame in 2021. Let's just say he's a Hall of Famer. Claudio, welcome to Papamutes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
So where are you now? Are you on campus or home?
No, I'm home. I'm home. Yeah. It's school, baseball-wise, at Carnegie Mellon, we're done until February, and then we kick off our season. We have a fall season as well. But no, I'm home right now in rainy Pittsburgh. Well, I live in a town outside of Pittsburgh called Sewickley, Pennsylvania. And as a matter of fact, this is the same house I grew up in. I never left. So how's that for consistency?
Wow. Well, that was my question. Where were you born? So obviously the answer is Sewickley, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Sewickley, Pennsylvania.
Any
Again,
siblings?
Same house I grew up in. If you ever heard of Sewickley before, the former Los Angeles Rams, Buffalo Bills, Seattle Seahawks coach Chuck Knox is from Sewickley. He was like an uncle to me, so I got to mention Chuck. So there's a few Penguins that live not too far from here, Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's a great little town. It really is. Never want to leave. Never.
I was going to say, isn't that where Mario, the great Mario Lemieux, lives?
Mary Lemieux lives here, and Sidney Crosby lives both about a mile from where I live. Yeah. Jack Ham,
all right. So
former Steeler.
Oh,
Jack Ham lives in Sewickley. So there's quite a few of those guys.
Well, being from there, not that area, but being from Pittsburgh, I do recall the Sewickley area. Man, there's a lot of stuff. So, but what sparked your interest in baseball?
Well, my parents, Olindo and Ida, were born in Italy, and they were just into boxing and soccer. My mom was into boxing and soccer. My dad was huge into boxing. So that's where I picked up my love for boxing. But the only thing I knew about baseball is that my parents would be upset if the show Gunsmoke would be preempted for a Pirate game, right? And I just knew about Roberto Clemente. That was it. So my uncle used to work at Three River Stadium, and he brought me to my first game, August 19th, 1973. I was 8 years old. And as I approached Three River Stadium and I saw that big, beautiful building, I never seen anything so big in my life. And then entering it, there was a scent that I can still smell to this day. The elevator ride up to the Allegheny Club, which was it was a restaurant inside of Three River Stadium. My uncle was the assistant manager of the place. And I remember seeing this Roberto Clemente beautiful picture to my right. Then I walked through the hallway, beautiful mahogany wooden walls and these pictures of the Wayner brothers, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe Green, Stargell. I didn't even know who these guys were. And then he took me down to the locker room, and I'm seeing these guys, big guys in these bright white uniforms, and I'm just like mesmerized. Then I snuck out on the field. This is about 10:30 in the morning, and it was just me and the grounds crew. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, the thunderbolt, as the Italians say. And I knew, this is before the game even started, I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I remember coming to this house and telling my dad asked me, "Did you have a good time?" I said, "I did, but I know what I want to do with the rest of my life." And he said, "What's that?" Now you can remember, I was 8 years old. I said, "I want to be in professional baseball." That's just what I said. And it's about, 5 yards from where I'm sitting right now. And he said, "Okay." If that's what you want to do, me and your mom will give you every opportunity in the world to make your dreams come true. And he gave me a hug, and my mom said, "Yeah, as long as you're a good boy and you work hard, we'll do whatever we can for you." And I tell you, Bob, they kept their promise. They did everything they could for me to give me every opportunity in the world to make my dreams come true. And there's an old saying, an old Italian saying, that if you ever see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know he didn't get there alone. So the accolades that you mentioned and all that, if it if it wasn't for my parents, I thank God for my parents every second of the day, and I miss them both. But they were incredible. But that's how I got my love for baseball. I had no idea if I had any talent in it or not. But my mom used to say, if there was a ball in the air, you can be sure Claudio was underneath it, because I read about it, I watched it, I played it. If I wasn't outside playing it, I'd be upstairs in my room hitting things. My dad owned a landscaping business, so one of the places he had apples. So that's why I learned how to switch hit. I would throw an apple to myself and hit. So it was constantly swinging and throwing. That's why I can't throw anymore. But that's where I developed the love for it. And then again, my uncle taking me to these games, and I got to know these Pirates since I was a little kid. And I got to be friends with them, which I'll talk about later. But so that's how I got hit with that bug.
Wow. Now, at what point did you, I mean, obviously you wanted to play baseball, but at what point did you say, or did you realize, you know what, I don't think I'm going to go to the next level? I'm not saying, I don't know how far you went. I shouldn't even say that, but, when did you, go to the coaching aspect?
That's a great question. Yes, it was the original game plan was to play, and I was very good. I was blessed with a good arm. I could play multiple positions. I could hit. I was a good hitter. I could run pretty good. So I had 3 tryouts. The first tryout, tryouts. I was injured. I was hurt. But the third one, I was completely healthy. I remember putting ankle weights on my feet, running. I remember going to my old elementary school and putting pebbles on the asphalt, getting a lacrosse ball, throwing it against the wall, working on my glove hand transition and my reaction. My dad hitting me fly balls. And I'd go to the batting cages and hit. I was in terrific shape. I was ready to go. And I had a nice high school career and all that. And I got hurt second day in college, but that's okay. I still had a shot to play professionally. My size didn't help, but that's okay. I'm 5'6". That's okay. I didn't really think about that too much. So I go to the tryout for the Pirates, and I remember having to run the 60.
Wait, you had a tryout for the Pirates?
Yes, I had one with Baltimore.
You had a tryout for the Pirates?
I had 2 with the Pirates. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
The first thing I'm sorry. Okay. So I remember why am I moving so slow? I'm actually thinking this. And did they make this an 80-yard dash? Well, I finish, and I know that I didn't run. I probably ran a 7.6, which is terrible. It's like, what happened here, right? Okay. I said, I'll show off my arm. The running was bad, but I'll show off my arm. Okay. So I played multiple positions, but they started me off in the outfield. So I go in right field. They give you a ground ball, and mechanics were perfect. I was lined up, I threw as hard as I could to third base. 2 bounces. I never did 2 bounces. It was either one hop or straight through. 2 bounces. I never forget. I shook my arm. I went like this, right? Like that was going to do something. Then they gave me another ball. I threw it, perfect alignment, perfect mechanics, threw it, 3 bounces. And I'm saying, what is going on here to myself, right? Third ball, I think it's still going. I don't know if it ever got there. I said, okay, I'm a really good hitter. I'll show off my hitting. They called off the list of who they wanted to go see hit. They didn't call my name. So I remember I was sitting on the ground with my legs. I'll never forget, my left leg was that way, and I had my right leg underneath me, and I had a smile on my face, and I have no idea why I was smiling. But I knew right then and there I was done. And the things that hit me right away is, how am I going to go home and tell my parents that I failed? They believed in me. They did everything. This was our dream.